The elections in Canada are well underway. And yo, Canada's going through it. With a crumbling healthcare system, skyrocketing cost of living, homelessness everywhere. There's one thing you can count on: our politicians sucking up to Israel. Let's examine the options, shall we? First up, the Conservatives.
Mais UNRWA, dont au Gaza, le gouvernement libéral continue de financer UNRWA. C'est un organisme dont on a trouvé des membres.
Yeah, none of that was ever proven, but good to know that Pierre Poilievre is unapologetically pro-Zionism over anything else. Let's move on to the Liberals. Surely they have been better since the departure of Trudeau.
We need to see ceasing of the levels of violence that
Yeah, and he's to cease to be president.
What were you being aware of? Are you conceding it's a genocide in Gaza?
I didn't hear that. Actually, I didn't hear that word. You
were there,
I guess. And yeah, so it's noisy. You get if you're up there, you hear snippets of what people say.
Here we have Mark Carney, the unelected Prime Minister of Canada, and he moonwalked back his statements on there being a genocide in Gaza, which the highest UN courts have agreed to and found Israel guilty of. And then he said that Canada has an arms embargo on Israel, which they should under international law, but then he walked that back as well. And he was kind of sternly talked to, well, in a tweet, in a post on X, by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has a warrant out for his arrest, who shouldn't be lecturing anybody about anything. But nothing new here. That is just your typical liberal. Moving on to the NDP, I am sure they are much better. After all, the NDP actually called for a ceasefire and for peace. But then you realize the NDP are terrible. They have no backbone. When their own nominees, people like Tammy Jakeman, compared what Israel is doing to Palestinians in Gaza to Nazi Germany, which is literally agreed to and agreed upon by Holocaust survivors, by a huge number of Jewish groups who are anti-apartheid, anti-genocide, anti-Zionism. But the NDP have no backbone, and what did they do? They got rid of Tammy. Rana Zaman as well, a personal friend of mine. We have gone to countless rallies and protests together. She was the NDP nominee. She won the nomination in Dartmouth Cole Harbour. Rana compared what Israel is doing to Palestinians to Nazi Germany and concentration camps, Auschwitz. Which, by the way, again, many Holocaust survivors, many Jewish groups, independent Jewish voices, for example, agree with this. And the international community, human rights organizations agree with this. But the NDP does not. So they got rid of her too. And by the way, to show you how bad it is, the NDP is actually using and applying the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which equates criticizing Israel with anti-Semitism. Israel with Judaism. This is opposed by the vast majority of the world, but the NDP is fine with accepting this. Oh boy. So finally, who's left? We got the Green Party. Let's see what they got. Blow me away. Not literally, Israel. Not literally. I know you. I'm Palestinian. I got to be careful.
School that a quarter of the students join the Israeli military after graduating from the school. I'm not familiar with those details. But the point here was we have the Foreign Enlistment Act in this country that makes it illegal to induce Canadians to join any other country's military. Do you think that the RCMP and Canadian authorities should be investigating anyone violating
the law? The law applies to everyone,
including Canadians fighting Israeli military?
The law applies to every Canadian.
Oh, well, consider me slightly impressed. The man stood his ground, at least. And speaking of the Green Party, Rana Zaman is actually now running with the Green Party for Dartmouth Cole Harbour. Personally, I've known Rana Zaman for a long time. We've been at rally after rally after rally together for years. Almost a decade, actually. This is someone who's not going to back down and who's not going to be silenced. Go to the link in her bio. Support, volunteer, vote.